welcome to the second annual Atari Network Fuji Awards, starring
Yay!
Funkmaster V with John Stoll. How you doing?
Good. How you been, Vinnie?
I've been good, man. We've been rocking and rolling and going up and down and slapping fat people in the face and telling people about the funk. You know how we do.
Right. Well, you got to spread the word. I mean,
You gotta
what
tell
better way to
people-
do it than to do you slap them with Atari games or just in general?
No, man. You got to separate the violence from the cool shiz.
Right.
Oh.
Right.
There's OG Hugo.
Yeah, Hugo says we're late. I thought, according to my clock, we were right on time.
Hugo is one of them guys that is a technical fellow, so there is no leniency for him. He's all about coding and nerd ROMs and stuff.
Very, very strict on timing.
He's very, very strict. Look at it. Look at this I got from Atari.com, the Desert Falcon t-shirt, John.
Yeah, look at that.
I think that looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It's cool to see that stuff on a t-shirt. I mean,
I don't know what the deal is with the cat face, though.
That's the Sphinx.
Yeah, but I mean, the Sphinx never had ears like that. But
I don't know. It's isn't that the? Can you hold it up again? Isn't that the new art or something that they did? Wasn't there like a new promotional art or some artist did some stuff?
I like how they kind of have these wings are like steampunk. They've got like clockwork gears and stuff in them. I think that's kind of cool.
Right.
It's a cool t-shirt for a fun but flawed game.
They've had a lot of cool stuff on there. I've been looking at the Jaguar stuff too. And I don't know. I want to get the Jaguar stuff. I think that stuff's cool. But seeing like Desert Falcon on a shirt, did you ever think you would see that back in the day? Did you think that in 38 years he would be wearing a shirt?
No, I mean that's a good point. I mean, you know, I remember I hold the record at Twin Galaxies for original hardware on Desert Falcon, but I remember as a kid in the Game Pro magazine. I don't know if you're old enough to know this, but they would have high score tables in the back, and all you had to do was take a picture and send it in. And they would put your name, and it would be like the world record or whatnot. But the problem was my family was so poor.
You didn't have a camera.
We couldn't afford to ever get our damn rolls of
photos
developed at the photo bug, the little shack in the Kmart parking lot.
You know what was a pain is when there was 25 shots, I think, in a roll. Well, the rolls I used to get. And you would take like 23 pictures, and you'd almost have to waste the two. Or wait for your next event to happen to take two more pictures, and then it was a pain.
These are things that people today can't understand. I mean, it's funny to think about, but it's
and I think we've gotten spoiled because I've even forgotten. That's a distant memory.
Well, I was going to tell you the photo. It took so long for my family to develop the photo that they took the record. They quit reporting Atari scores in the Game Pro magazines by the time I sent it in. And it was very hurtful.
Yeah. Well,
then I didn't have the picture. Then I didn't have the picture anymore to prove people that anybody would care. But
right. Well, you know, that would be cool if you held on to those pictures, but they'd probably be all. I have some old pictures that are all like grayed out now, or not grayed, but they're kind of like browned out. I don't know if that's like sun exposure or what, but. This isn't picture talk, though, Vinny. This is, what is it? The second annual Fuji Awards brought to you by Atari7800forever.com.
My God.
And we are excited to get into this. I got the awards. This year, the budget was cut, so the awards got a little smaller, but here they
That's really close to the camera, too, folks.
Yeah, no, for perspective.
This
is my that's my thumb.
Yeah.
So, but no, they're very prestigious awards. You can fit. I'll put a peppermint inside each one, so they get a little taste of victory, if you will. Yeah. But what do you think, Vinny? Should we jump right into the awards, or should we do more of our patented banter?
Well, I'm excited. There was, I always reference you in my videos, and people are starting to talk about, like I said something about you're very grumpy about having to pay that sludge tax in Toledo. If anybody's ever lived in Toledo, the sludge tax is very high. It's the highest sludge tax in all of the land, and somebody referenced that in tonight's video. So it's kind of cool to see people, connecting our channels a little bit.
I don't pay taxes, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I was talking to your accountant. He told me what was real. You can play cool in front of everybody if you want.
Right. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So
but yeah, man. I mean, the banter's good, but tonight's an awards show, so we probably should hop in and start talking, because people are going to watch this in the future, I'm sure. And somebody named Jinx, Jinx from Atari Age, he said he's not technically prolific enough to watch a live stream, which I don't know how hard that is for some people, but he's going to watch it later. So
that's not for everybody, I get it, because that way you can fast forward through this part and get to the part. This
get to the good stuff.
Right, exactly. Which will be starting right now with our first category. Weirdest Atari product. There's been some odd stuff released, Vinnie. And I don't know if you've partaken in any of these. Have you purchased any of the oddball stuff that's been released?
I forgot every this is going to be news to me. I forgot everything in this can. Okay, no, I've not had the coffee.
You have not had the coffee. This was a limited edition cross promotion Atari VCS blend dark roast coffee. Not only could you get the bag, but you could also, that's the next one. You could also get the pods there for your K cup or whatever, that your Keurig machine. You could get the K cups. I haven't had it. I don't know. It's just the energy drink makes more sense to me than even the coffee, but people love coffee. People are obsessed with coffee anymore. So I guess
nobody can smoke cigarettes. Nobody can smoke cigarettes anymore. So we got to have coffee.
No, you got you smoke your vape and
yeah.
And you drink your coffee.
This also had a tie-in with a VCS game, did it not?
Yeah, it did, and I actually haven't played that yet. But from everything I've heard, the game's pretty good or fine. It works. It plays good. It also, the game had, it looks like, characters from Roasty Buds on it. The characters from the game. Oh, okay. I didn't know if those were like Roasty Buds mascots or something. I didn't do much research into the coffee, to be honest. But
hey, can I tell you something?
What's that?
Let's pick it up. I'm already over the coffee one.
All right, we'll get over
to the next
one.
Nominee here.
So the next nominee here is the decanter set.
Yeah.
So you can obviously put apple juice or
we're non-drinkers, so that's what
right.
We'd have to put like we'd have to put like Diet Coke in those.
Right, that's obviously like Coca-Cola and stuff. So that's neat. I kind of like the decanter.
I like it. It's $129.99.
That's the part I don't like. If it was,
I'm gonna have to go 5-finger discount that.
Do they make a plastic version? Maybe that's cheaper. I don't know. That's probably.
Can you imagine? Now look at this. There's two. What does two glasses imply?
A nice evening at the fireplace with your dog. I don't know. What's it imply?
With a woman. Do you think the woman is going to spread them after she sees that?
I think if you
she sees that you pull out the Atari decanter.
If you brought a woman home at that point and she's drinking out of that, she's drunk enough to probably seal the deal.
She might think the Atari Fuji is actually, go back to it. That might actually, she might actually think that's a suggestive
right, yeah.
image.
You tell her that part in the middle is representative of, what I'm gonna
the funk.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
And finally we have, who wouldn't want this Hobby Lobby canvas art of old Atari cartridges? They don't even look like, some of them don't look pristine even. They just look like somebody's collection that they took a picture of. And I
think most Atarians like ordering them, like putting the Activision together and the American
right. That's the other thing.
and the burgundy labels together. I think that would drive everybody absolutely nuts.
Yeah, it's driving me nuts looking at Freeway is way away from skiing. They didn't put Haunted House with the other.
Yeah, I hate, and I also hate these 70s versions of those labels.
You know what's crazy is I actually bought that.
Why?
I have that on my wall. I didn't buy it actually. No, full disclosure. I came home and my wife and my daughters had it, and they said, "Look, we were at Hobby Lobby. Look at what we got you." And I said, "Well, thank you very much."
Cover up the cover up the shotgun blast in your drywall. It's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, that's what we do at Toledo. They also have one of old cassette tapes that looks exactly the same except it's cassettes. So
my wife had a friend bought that for my wife, and we have that in our bedroom.
Oh, do you? So there you go. It's a trend now. Everybody
it's a friend gift, I guess.
Yeah, there you go. So the winner is Vinnie. Do you remember who won the category? Who's going to
get? It has to be the decanters, right?
It is the decanter set is the winner of the weirdest product. Not for being the weirdest, but I think for being just probably the coolest out of the weird products.
That's the weirdest. So congratulations to the decanter set. Whoever made that.
It's the one I would buy, to be honest, or the one I would most likely
well, you're the weirdest.
I am a weirdo indeed. But next category, Atari VCS, best third-party game, Vinnie. How many third-party games have you played on the VCS this year? Have you played all these?
Again, I mean, we talked. We actually did work on this. I didn't play any of these games. So,
you know what? I was going to have videos for these. I don't have them pulled up yet because StreamYard only lets me do 10 videos. So we'll just name them off, I guess.
Instead of terrible. You can't show the videos.
I mean, if I was smart, I would have pulled those up first instead of, I guess, the last category.
What do you want to pull them up while we waste time?
I can pull them up real fast. Yeah, let me pull off.
Let me go over some of these comments we've got so far. Cafe Man 2D said, a friend. Now, what the hell does that mean? About the decanter set. Crypto Coffee, entertaining. She might take the decanter and spend some quality time in the bathroom. We're getting this. See, this is your crowd up here. These Toledo people. Damn, I was just in Hobby Lobby and didn't see this.
It's in with some of the weirder stuff.
I love the 7 Coleco carts spread throughout too. I passed on the hot sauce. We didn't nominate that. I think the hot sauce was from last year. And it looked ugly. I don't know. The hot sauce has to look sexy. The bottle has to look good.
I don't know how. When I present these, I guess they'll pop up on the screen as I do them here.
Do them.
All right, let's do it. So the first nominee, and they'll be a little loud too. Let me see if.
Oh my God! Be careful.
Here we go.
Look at that. Oh, nice.
So this is Circus Interstellar. Have you played Circus Interstellar, Vinnie?
I just said I didn't play any of these.
Oh, you didn't play any of these. Okay. Circus Interstellar was an awesome game from Ettonsoft. And this game was incredible to me. Very reminiscent almost of Smash TV, or let me see if I can pull up. This is a boss fight here.
He's on the ground. He's not floating around.
Yeah. So you're the spaceman there. You can go through some of those candy cane pods, heal you. You pick up different, I forget what those were, like PDF file things that reveal the story. You can acquire a certain amount of them, but it's a very fun game. It's a run and gun. No, actually it is not. And at first that seemed like a detriment. But it was actually very smart because that would allow you to use the VCS controller, the one joystick one. What's that one called?
Can you spin like Akari Warriors?
It's been a while, but yeah, I think you can. You do spin it. I'm almost positive you do. If not, I might be wrong. Actually, no, you might not. No, you hold a button and move it. But
what
still,
are we doing with our lives?
We are awful at this. But that's Circus Interstellar, and to me, that's
pretty good.
Yeah, it was an awesome game for the year.
Well, let's not go crazy. Looks pretty
No,
good.
it was awesome.
All right.
Up next, we have Cash Cow DX.
Oh, we got some music on this one.
There, I'll keep the volume relatively low. How about that? Because the volume the sound was actually not that bad on this, I don't think. But yeah, Cash Cow DX was created by the people that brought us what was it, Dodo, and this, yeah, that one was really good. I personally like this one better, and I think it comes down to a preference thing. I almost think this was easier than Donut Dodo. It kind of reminded me almost of games like Mappy and just old arcade games and stuff. And it was an excellent release on the VCS. Ton of fun to play. It had that old school arcade aesthetic and difficulty, and
ripping off Sonic there.
Yeah, there was a lot of inspiration, but it worked, and it worked well.
Dig it.
I do too. So if you want to stall while I pull up this next one here.
So Cash Cow DX is the name of this for those keeping score. This is a nominee in the category of Best Atari VCS Third-Party Game for the year 2024.
Absolutely. You're doing a
in the
wonderful
year of
job.
our Lord. I need to keep talking here.
Yep. Keep talking.
And Jeremiah Thomas says, doesn't everything come down to preference?
No.
I think that's true.
Nope.
We're preferring some of these over to the others.
Hey.
Okay. I pulled up somebody's YouTube video. It was just quicker. But yeah, this is Wild Dogs. You haven't played any of these, Vinnie?
I haven't played any of these, John.
Oh, wow. Wild Dogs came out, I believe, in like January. It was an early release on the VCS. But this game was awesome. And one of the coolest things about it, not the coolest, but a fun aspect for it, is you can actually change the background colors from you see how it's kind of reddish right now. You can almost give it
it's like a monochrome thing.
Yeah. And I don't know if this person, he doesn't seem to be altering it at all. But you can change kind of the graphical presentation a little bit of it. You also have your dog friend with you the whole time. You can see he's a good boy, follows you around and helps you out in the levels. I believe Second Boss did this game, and they're pretty prolific on the VCS, but they mostly put out decent old school 8-bit style games.
Well, this looks like a Contra.
Exactly. Yep.
Like a Ghosts and Goblins kind of thing going on here.
Yep, and it very good. It was awesome.
Yeah, it looks cool. I just beat Contra this year, actually, for the first time ever.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a good day.
And then
the wall, I have one of those shadow boxes of the the third boss with the hands that come down like ooh. I never even played the game that much, but I always thought that looked cool.
All right, and let me.
I was an Atari guy, not a Nintendo guy.
Let me take.
We have another nominee.
And last and not least, I gotta take some of these off the studio. I'll tell you that this StreamYard stuff isn't as easy as you would think, especially when they limit you. On
I thought you upgraded so we could have some nice.
I did, but I didn't upgrade to the the Extreme Premium version. So this is our last nominee. It is, let me get this right, I believe it's Super 3D Maze 16. A demo had been out on this for a while. It recently came out in the full version. It has some first-person aspects. It's basically a arcade maze style. I mean, it's all in the name. It's Super 3D
Making me
Maze
feel like I'm going to fall down.
Right? Yeah. It looks like you'll fall at any.
I'm getting discombobulated.
Yep. But it's a ton of fun. I believe these guys also put out another really cool 3D shooter game on the VCS that was really good as well. But I think that was a last year release. But a lot more fun to play than it is to watch. So there is our 4 nominees, Vinnie.
And to answer Sabretooth, no, I did not vote on this category because I didn't play any of these games.
Yep. And C Money says Savage Halloween is great. I believe Savage Halloween is also from Second Boss, if I'm not mistaken. So
That sounds like a very scary game.
it is very spooky.
Oh my
Very
God.
spooky. So yeah, those are our nominees, and the winner is it was a close category, and honestly, I think all of those games are great, and there's a ton of other great third-party VCS games. But in our opinion, after me and Vinny played these games for many hours and discussed them, Cash Cow DX is our Atari VCS third-party game of 2024.
It was the most colorful, and John likes simple things like colors and shininess.
I like fun colors.
That's why I wear the disco hat. Somebody said this looks super cool. What is this for? These are the Atari. This category was for Atari VCS, the third-party games.
Yep.
Which get often overlooked when people are talking about the Atari VCS.
And that's the thing, is I think a lot of people do overlook those, and there's so many great third-party games on the VCS that,
again,
I mean, there's a lot of them. Yes, Go Lions. This is worth putting up right now. Go Lions. Yep. That's why we're streaming tonight, not tomorrow. Vinny, put the knife down.
Well, it's just been there may be some self-harm. I'm a Jets fan. This has been the worst Jets season in history. Biggest Atari-related surprise of 2024, and I did get the vote on this because I was surprised often.
Yep. Do you want to rattle off these nominees and explain them, Vinny?
Yeah, these are the Atari VCS 800 games. They're keen for
the last third-party game was Super 3D Maze 16. Keen.
Yeah. Okay, well, biggest Atari-related surprise, anything in the universe of Atari, which is kind of what John really specializes in, is anything that could be VCS, Jaguar, homebrew, anything. Weird third-party things that pop out of nowhere and stuff that flies over from Germany in crushed boxes. There was a lot of stuff this year that was a surprise. I think I don't know. This is going to be an interesting category. You guys will probably disagree with what I picked. So,
yeah. Do you have the nominees in front of you, or you want me to read them off?
I don't have Jack Jive.
We discussed this. What? You weren't taking notes? Okay, so the first nominee of biggest surprise in 2024, Atari buying Intellivision. And that was a big one.
Yep.
Yeah. Did you ever think you would see that?
I wish Atari would get like Battlezone and the Atari games rights and stuff, like for Paperboy and Gauntlet and Marble Madness and stuff. But as a consolation to see them kind of take over this, and then one of the Atari 50th anniversary collections download DLCs is the first console war was between. So this would be like Nintendo buying Sega in a way, or TurboGrafx buying Neo Geo or something. It is
PlayStation buying Xbox, whatever.
I could keep doing it. Coke buying Pepsi, Mr.
Chevy
T buying Murdoch. I don't know. 18 preference. Where'd that come from? I haven't seen the 18.
I don't think that's legal, but I'm glad you said it the way you said it.
Yeah, that's true. That
could have been bad.
Yeah, I mean the Intellivision, again, not exciting. Some of the games aren't the greatest in the world, but it was cool to see like Dark Caverns released on the VCS for like 99 cents. Your mom buying your dad.
Yeah.
We could talk about the reverse of that too. That's a lot of people think
your dad buying your mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a website, RussianBrides.ag or something.
Well, it's like a hypergamy thing. I don't want to get in a social.
We're getting off. Yeah, we're getting way off course here. But yeah, it was. It came out of nowhere for me. I didn't see that coming personally.
Woo!
But yeah. Second nominee is the announcement of the Atari 7800 Plus. So not the console itself, but the announcement of it. And that's something I didn't see coming either. A lot of people didn't think it was necessary, and they could be right. I mean,
they could be right.
It is.
Well, I remember calling you. It was a time where, it was a lot of that stuff happened where I loan a guy $1,200. You think somebody's going to pay you back, and we weren't talking very much. But you loan a guy, get him out of a jam, you think he'd make payments over time, but whatever. But when that came out, that Atari 7800 Plus announcement, I called you immediately, and I was like, "Did you see that?" I felt like a 12-year-old kid calling you.
Yep. And our third nominee is the Falling Leaves cartridge from the EJagFest. So again, they said they had a surprise, and they brought us a cool felt glued cartridge, which I enjoyed.
Did you have a picture of that?
No, I have it right here though, I think.
Okay. So we'll talk about this in a minute, but this is a multi-cart from Germany, and you could get one with felt on it. And it's called Falling Leaves. I mean, it sounds
Games collection from the past.
It sounds like Falling Leaves sounds like if the drummer from a glam band has a solo project that's all ballads, and it's like the guy calls it Falling Leaves, but it's a multi-cart of all the games of Gambler, and we'll get into that here in a second.
Not just Gambler, but Carry as well.
You can get a dragon saber. That's the dragon version.
Yep, I'm glad I got this one.
And then you can get that's a dragon. I thought it looked more like a satanic cat.
Sabertooth said it's an
pirate. And apparently the pirate hat is falling off of these cartridges. So
yeah, the pirate, apparently the glue they used is like making it ripple and kind of shrink and suck up.
It's got scurvy. That the pirate glue had scurvy, and it's not working too well.
No, it's not holding up very well. But regardless, it was a neat surprise. And honestly, like you said, there's 8 ROMs on there, and it ain't a bad collection. I mean, it could have been a lot worse.
And what else do we have for the?
And our last nominee is the announcement of Fatal Run 2089. Again, kind of came out of nowhere for myself. I don't know.
Look, man. I know on my website, I rate Fatal Run pretty poorly, but I loved that game as a kid, man. Mm-hmm. I loved Fatal Run, and it being announced with how cool it looks, it kind of the speed and the scope of it reminds me of Excite Truck for the Wii, which I thought Excite Truck was one of the best games for the Wii. I'm very excited. I'm prepared to be vastly disappointed because I'm probably getting a little too excited, but I loved Fatal Run, and it's just cool to see what they could have done to make it better. What do we got? Look at this.
And they had a nod to, I don't know if you saw it there, but that guy had the 2600 cartridge in his pocket for whatever reason.
Well,
it looks good to me too. And, the buildings falling over, the set dressing and everything. It kind of looks like a point-to-point racer almost to me. I'm hoping that's not what it is.
But that's what Fatal Run is, really.
Well, essentially. But it was, basically getting to the city in time to save the other people or whatever.
If it has cheerleaders and hot dog vendors exploding, I'm all about it.
Yeah, I hope they keep that because that would be awesome. I do too.
That's the coolest. It's so. I did a video on Christmas about the 9 releases for the Atari 7800 Plus, and just that. If you watch that scene, it's really pretty effing dark.
Yeah. If you think about it, yeah. But they made it, Nintendo-esque, cutesy. Oh, look, there's a cheerleader. Oh, she's a whatever
exploded into a tombstone.
Yep. So
which is like what a child would think would happen when you die.
Yep. So Vinny, who is the winner, or what is the winner of the biggest Atari related surprise?
Now this is going to piss off everybody in the chat, but I'm going with Gambler's Falling Leaves cart, and I'm going to tell you why. If you're familiar with Gambler's games, and my website, I trash Gambler's games left and right. And this multi-cart, I'm not lying, is really good. It's got how many? 8 or 9 games on it?
8.
The variety of the games are very good. There's a shooter, there's a maze game, there's a breakout game, which is really good. There's an Elvira mixology game, which is
Yep.
bizarre. There's 3 text adventures, which are better than most of Gambler's text adventures. Like the ET book card is terrible, but he's got a couple of things. And the fact that in a solitaire game that involves chickens,
And the
which
solitaire
actually
game is actually really good.
it's really good. I am blown away at the quality of that multi-cart because I thought it was just going to be a big booty hole.
Yeah.
But it actually, Gambler, if you're watching this, I'm going to do a video reviewing this. And the breakout game supports the paddle controller too. Is that what he's saying?
Yep. I haven't tried that yet, but
I haven't either. I'm just blown away. I'm just blown away. And good job, Gambler. I know I've trashed your stuff for years.
yeah,
I wanted to say tonight, congratulations to Germany and all that stuff. And good job, man.
yep, you guys did it. Your mint and trophy is in the mail.
Wunderbar! Wunderbar!
But yeah, I agree. It was an awesome surprise, and being able to play it and all the cool games they did, and having a physical version of the Elvira mixology game, it's a neat novelty, and he's so passionate.
It's Carrie and Gambler. It's just
Yeah.
I normally crap on. I've never really said anything about the guy Carrie, but
yeah, but they're so passionate about the 7800 and the
Yes.
community in general. So and
it's fun and they love it, and it's the homebrew.
And that's
thing.
it was fun. It's who else besides Gambler would send you a cartridge, a multi-cart with felt glued on it? I love it.
And the original Merlane is the only game in the 7800 library that has a vagina joke. So
Yeah, and
put that out into the universe.
But it all can't be great, Vinny. There are some negatives, far less lately than there were in Atari's past, but there still are fumbles, stumbles, and bumbles. And this year we have not, like I said, we haven't had a whole lot of disappointment, in my opinion. We have personal opinions of things. You might not like a release. You might not be thrilled with the way something was handled, but there isn't a whole lot that you can definitively look at and say that was a bad decision, or that didn't make a lot of sense, or that should have been handled better. Do you agree or disagree?
I wasn't paying attention. I was thinking about this girl. What were you saying? Oh, yeah. I mean, Atari is part of the reason about that's fun to be an Atari fan is when they do something good, it feels good. You're a Lions fan. I'm a Jets fan. When there's a season that's good, it's not just a good season. It's amazing. It's almost orgasmic. Yep. And it's the same thing with Atari. When Atari does something good, it makes you even more excited because you love the brand, and we're homers for that crap. That's why we're sitting here on a Saturday night talking about this crap. Because we love it, man, and we love being a part of it in a weird way. But Atari is known to make mistakes, and they still do. Everybody makes mistakes, and this is that category.
Yep. And we're not gonna. I mean, is there anything you think we should call out besides the winner?
Yes.
Call them out.
I don't have the list.
I didn't write anything down except for the winner.
What?
Because when we talked about it, we didn't stay on that topic for very long.
Hold on. Well, there was a lot of them, I thought. Let me look.
Well, go ahead and look real quick, and I will highlight some chats because I can actually put them on the screen. So, let's see here. We have, is that Caverns of Mars running in the background in Vinny's screen? I don't know, Vinny, is it? It might be.
It might be. This is the first time I've had a 2600 game running in the background.
Absolutely. We got Ramey Butler walking his dog. We will wait for you, Ramey. Just kidding. We're going to keep moving on. Derek Dash, glad to see you here, buddy. Are you playing Atari today? I don't think I played any Atari today, but he is playing Cybermorph as we speak. That is a deep cut. I appreciate that. Cybermorph.
You should try to get
Battlemorph.
Battlemorph, baby.
Yeah, I love that one. Sabretooth Retro, good to see you here. Huge VCS supporter. Fatal Run isn't coming to the VCS, sadly. That's a shame. I believe that's because it's running on Unreal, is it? Or Unity or something. But yeah, nope, I've heard that too. So,
well, I just pulled up the biggest Atari related fumble,
okay,
and we were supposed to have 4 nominees per
3 to 4, yeah,
in each thing, and you only had 1. And
yep.
what I would like to nominate is the VCS still not
Yep.
coming out of the box.
We did talk about that.
The VCS not coming out of the box, ready to go. I own 2 businesses. One, I have a movie making company.
Mm-hmm.
My second one is a transportation company, and I have 3 gay guys that live in a shed. Welcome to Tennessee. And they're the type of gay guys that wear like the
disco ball hats.
Dog hats, and they pretend they're dogs.
Okay.
And one of them is deaf. So I have to always be like, where are you going? So one day the guy saw on my phone that I was looking at something about the Atari, and he got excited about it. And I told him, don't get the Atari VCS, get the 2600 plus or the 7800 plus. But he was deaf, and he got this VCS anyway, and he couldn't get. It was a nightmare. I had to actually take it from him and wipe it off and fix it for him. And it was a pain in the butt. And the fact that the Atari VCS coming out of the box, that inept is a fumble still to this day. I know they always try to fix it, but it seems like there's always a problem. Now, I talked to him yesterday. I saw him yesterday, and he said he's having a great time, and he's using it as a computer, which is cool. I have no idea what ungodly things he's looking at online with our Circus Atari. And then my other fumble is, and again, this is a minor one, is I would say the 7800 development this year, homebrew, has taken a huge step back as far as physical cart releases than in probably the last 10 years.
I would agree with that, actually, because we've been talking for a while, and it seems like every year prior we had a release, we would call each other, or when we did, come in contact, we would say, man, did you hear about Popeye? Did you hear about EXO, Night Guy? We were excited about something. And this year, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff that happened.
Well, it goes to the winner. I think this is partly because of the biggest Atari related fumble we're going to get to right now. So you announced the winner.
And I nominated this, and I think we both agreed, but the winner and your trophy will come upside down for the biggest fumble, stumble, or bumble is the fact that Atari Age still, if they've just recently done it, but as far as I know, they're still working to complete orders from a sale over 18. We did the math. I think it was 18 months ago now. And again, we understand why people always say Albert's a great guy. He's a one-man show. He's working as hard as he can. And we love Albert too. I love Albert. I've talked to him.
I've had a little strong. I like the guy. I don't know.
I love him. I love him.
Okay.
No, no, but we do, we enjoy Atari Age games and stuff, but 18 months, I mean, for anything, that's a little much. And people that, I'm trying to be, it's pretty bad. And people are upset. People confuse me with being affiliated with Atari and Atari Age and all that stuff. And I've been getting some of the brunt of the last chance orders taking so long to go out. So I can't imagine the stuff Albert's hearing for it. And
not trying to dump on Albert, but it is a bad look. Now Atari owns Atari Age.
And now it's a bad look for Atari.
People are like, it's going to, and like somebody just posted in the chat, Atari shipping company sucks. They actually sent me 2 Ninja Golfs instead of, I ordered a wireless or a wired gamepad and Ninja Golf. They sent me 2 Ninja Golfs, and they put me like in a court of law. I've got to prove my case, and I reboxed the box for Christmas that I got it in, and they're like, "Well, we really need to see that box." I'm like, "Dude, where do you think I got a Ninja Golf from? Two of them."
Yeah. Atari's support, Atari.com support is awful. I had to get a refund from them. They sent me the wrong amount and they argued with me about it. And yeah, I don't think Atari's giving much support to Albert, unfortunately.
Oh, they're not. And yeah, and Crossbow Jesse just said that he's in the middle of a move. That makes it worse.
Yeah,
I
feel like the thing is you can't make excuses for him anymore. He should have saw what was coming in and asked for help or sought help or something. I don't know, but it's easy to say this stuff when you're not the man himself, but it's
slowly, here's the thing. It's went from a hobby that we all sat around and we were like, hey, we got homebrew games these guys are making. And now it's starting to conflate with Atari, which is a real company. And Atari's worth millions of dollars. So it now is starting to get like what the actual F.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got, if you've acquired Atari Age, you need to help out Atari Age. Hey, two Muddy Funsters in the house.
Muddy Funsters in the house. Muddy Vision's awesome. I love Muddy Vision.
By the way, we got to talk about one of his projects coming up. But anyway,
right. But yeah, here's somebody who got 3 Bounty Bob Strike Backs and 2 M Network cards. I'm assuming that was by mistake. And then we got somebody waiting 70 days for a speaker hat. Again, Atari.
Why would you buy a speaker hat? The joke's
right
on
now,
you, pal.
no. Right now they're $24.99. I almost bought one at that price.
Why?
At that price, why wouldn't you get a speaker hat? It's a hat with a speaker in it. Why wouldn't you get it at that price?
You would get, in my neighborhood, they'd kick the crap out of you until
in my neighborhood, I'd be the coolest cat in the stoop. Just
how long is the move going to take? I don't know. I think he's moving out of Texas. I don't know.
Yeah, no, he's moving. Where is he? I don't know. Either way,
he's on a stagecoach. We're in trouble.
Right. But yeah, so that's our bummer. We don't want to focus on negativity or anything. We just
want to acknowledge it.
But we have another person or entity to acknowledge here, Vinny. And this is a big category for us and in general. It's our Atari person or entity of the year for 2024.
And I appreciate you voting for me. And I just want to say you can mail me the tiny cup. If you have a cup that's slightly bigger than the others.
I dropped it.
Oh, did it crack?
I don't know.
Is the rat down there with the sandwich and a switchblade trying to steal it from you?
I got it back.
Go pawn it.
Yep, he was going to pawn it. Yep, plenty of those in Toledo. But yeah, no, I did nominate Vinny, but he graciously said I can't accept that award for so many years in a row. I'm going to give somebody else a chance. But we did nominate. I think we have a good lineup of nominees.
A delicious lineup.
You don't know who our nominees are, do you? You didn't write any of this down?
I know. I know some, yes.
Well, go ahead and name who you
Bob DeCrescenzo is one.
Yep. Robert DeCrescenzo, Pac-Man Plus.
Huh? Yeah, Pac-Man. He doesn't go by that anymore. That's a dead name him every time you say that.
He did.
He had a big year where he actually became part of Atari. And my interview that I did with him back in 2020, when I kind of kicked off my website again, it's a good interview still. He didn't know how to, he didn't have a good way to communicate. So he's on his cell phone. So it kind of sounds like we're on an AM radio, but he was talking about, he wanted to always release an Atari game as an official Atari game. And man, did his dream come true this year, where they re-released the Atari 7800 and all 6 new games are his games.
I was going to say it came true 6 times over for
and they featured him as the pack-in. Yeah, let's go. The Bumble. This is another Bumble is releasing Bentley Bear with the damn European gamepad, because people who are playing it for the first time thinks the game sucks because they can't control
Yeah,
the Bentley Bear properly, because the Bentley Bear was best played with the Pro line. Anyway, that's going back.
yeah.
But
And
that was
some
one of the
people have
categories
said
I
that
wanted to put in there too.
some people have said that's not an issue for them, but I don't see how that could be possible. Because to me,
They're lying.
I like
They don't know
I
how to
like
play it. They don't know how to play the game.
I like the Europad, but it is not good for that game.
It's
I
not
feel
good for that. That's the Bumble. You put a
Yeah.
pack-in game, the best game, one of the top 5 games easy for the 7800 as your pack-in with a controller that can't play it properly.
Yeah.
That was one of mine, and I almost wanted that one to be it. And I've got a video showing you how to get around that.
You got to hold it like that.
Yeah, and it's just you can't do that.
Yeah.
But going back, also Entity of the Year, 0 Point Homebrew was another
Zero-page homebrew.
Huh?
Zero-page homebrew.
What are they? They're Canadian. They don't count anyway. No, it's a husband and wife team, and they got a bunch of cats that are crapping and pissing everywhere. But they have done, me and you couldn't even do a podcast for a year and a half. They have been doing a podcast featuring these homebrews for all the systems, and the guy still, to this day, looks like he's having a good time, and half the time the wife seems like she's somewhat interested, and the cats never give a crap about the Atari games. And occasionally there's a Canadian guy, friend, next door neighbor that comes in. It's kind of like a sitcom. He'll come in and be like, Jerry, I need to borrow $500 to buy to adopt a highway or something. But I got to give 0 Point Homebrew credit for being a podcast for so long and being devoted and doing interviews, and they've done a great job.
They've highlighted the homebrew community for a long time too, which is really cool. Again, they every week I think they feature 2 or 3 games every episode, and a lot of obscure stuff too. They give time to be out there in front of the Atari community, and like you said, me and you know how hard it is to do a podcast. We couldn't do it for a full year, or we did it for just over a year or something. And
we ended up hating each other. It was awful.
Yeah. We fought. There was money disputes. I think a gun was pulled or a knife was pulled at one point.
I thought when you tried to really hit on my wife through Instagram, that was going too far. But we won't talk about that publicly.
Yeah.
Who are the other nominees?
And our last 2 nominees we had was, I didn't write these down either, Vinnie. I can't remember who the other one was.
What the hell is wrong with you?
We had, well, I figured we would, you would write some of these down.
Well, what? You're the one with the book. What are you talking about? You're like, let me go get my book.
I had the book.
Our other one is Muddy Funster, who is a sweet guy and who is always developing really cool games. And he's got a game coming out called Bernie and the Tower of Fungus.
Doom.
What is it called?
Yeah.
The
Tower of Doom, I thought.
Tower of Doom.
Something
and
like that.
It looks like a freaking Super Nintendo game at times. It's got, and again, these guys like Muddy and Bob, they make these games with tons of levels, and you're like, how are they packing all this stuff into a cartridge without some sort of engine on the outside or some sort of gasoline thing? And Muddy's made a lot of great games, and it's exciting that he's going to be able to release that. And the fact that it's his own IP, I think I saw on the Atari Age forums this week, he's done with the game. And I think, which congratulations, that seems like that game would have been tough to program. But it also, I think, has a chance to probably be a cart one day if Atari's interested, and also
I would hope so.
Plus. And they could throw it into the VCS maybe too, the VCS 800.
He's constantly working on new stuff too. Like he gets done with one project and it seems like he's right on to the next one, which is incredible. He doesn't stop. He just puts out game after game. And the thing is, the games are good. Like he started out with obviously the 2600 games, and his first 7800 game was the Danger Zone, which was decent enough. It's hard to compete with the original Combat. And then he moved on to Keystone Coppers, which was fantastic. He moved on to Artie, which was great. EXO, which was even better. And
Artie and EXO went over to the Atari VCS.
Yep. So it's really good. they're incredible games, and he just keeps improving. I mean, it won't be long before I think he could be the most prolific developer on the 7800 for sure.
And our fourth
So
candidate in this category is a guy who does a podcast, and or not a podcast, but he has a video game channel, and he's totally devoted to the Atari. And his name is Ballistic Coffee Boy. And if you watch
yep,
his videos, he does a very good job, and he's completely devoted to the Atari. He doesn't really do anything else outside of the Atari games, kind of like John. And he is doing a great job fighting the fight as well. So, who out of those four nominees, who is the entity of the year?
the person or entity of the year in this case is going to be person is Robert DeCrescenzo is our person of the year for 2024. And I mean, really far and away, this has been his year, I think, especially with Atari proper. I mean, 6 releases, and he deserves it. For so long, he kept the 7800 alive. He kept interest alive. He put games out on it. I'm so happy for
He was a major force. I mean, Kurt Vendel,
unfortunately, rest in peace.
Albert from Atari Age,
Albert, Lance.
There was a lot of even Crossbow, who's in here, was a big help keeping stuff alive. Lance Rehnquist from Video 61 was a big entity in keeping the thing alive. Harry Dodgson and stuff like that.
Yep.
Ken Siders.
Yep.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I think this is a victory lap for Bob and everybody else, because there's people like Bobby Clark who makes music for his games and Muddy's games, and he does a great job. There's all these guys. It's kind of like he represents everybody in a way, and everybody loves Bob. So congratulations, Bob. You're the Atari Person of the Year, according to this shitty podcast.
Yeah, it's been validation for everything they do. So next, in the next shitty category, we have Best Atari Hardware of the Year for 2024, and it's actually
and Howard Scott Warsaw. Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, Warsaw. Yeah, like Worcestershire sauce.
That's what
best, right? Best Atari Hardware of the Year for 2024, and there was actually quite a bit that came out. Surprisingly, it started out strong. We had the end of the year releases last year, and we moved right into 2024 with the Atari 400 Mini, which was huge in my opinion. I got it as soon as I could, and it was really cool. It was my first experience with the Atari 8-bits. We weren't a computer family. We were a blue-collar family. I didn't have a computer growing up until I think year 2000. We got one finally when they were clearanced out during that whole crisis, or what they thought was going to be a crisis. So going back and experiencing some of the games that were on the 8-bit and being able to play 5200 games on something other than 5200 was cool. So I think that was a very solid piece of hardware, and one that still holds up. Some of these things you get, like the Game Station Pro, in my opinion, you get that. And
you go on my Facebook Marketplace, they are selling those Game Station Pro. I don't know what's wrong with it. I never picked one up, but I mean, they're selling them for $35, $40.
It's just, I think the excitement waned for it, where I think the 400 Mini has more longevity and more sustainability, because
really that should have been on our list for biggest surprises of 2024, because that was
it could have been.
Because they're so focused on the 2600,
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the biggest issue with like the Game Station Pro, is that, again, there's so many other ways to experience some of those games. It does have a few 5200 and stuff, but I feel like overall the 400 Mini was just a better way to experience that stuff.
All right, that's nominee number one.
That's nominee number one. Number two nominee we have is of course, Atari 7800 Plus. Again, it would have been so much bigger had the 2600 Plus not have been released just a year prior. I think that kind of dilutes it a little bit and makes it less exciting. I feel like overall it's a better initial experience than the 2600 was. I think in my testing, more stuff works with it out of the box. And it's fine. It's bringing a lot of people into the 7800, which is awesome. But it's just a little diluted thanks to it essentially already being available in a different shell. Agree?
Oh yeah, me and you are right on the money on that. I think it's great. It's exciting. I thought the lineup of games was fun and kind of weird. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have released those
Yeah.
games. But
Yeah.
again, at the same time, they're millionaires and I'm not, so we're just going to side with them. But yeah, I think the 2600 plus diluted it how awesome it was, but it's still an amazing thing.
Absolutely.
But it's not perfect either. It can't play Ricky and Vicky. There's still game problems.
Yeah.
It's really running emulation. That kind of bothers some people too. And there's some things about it that are cooler and some things that aren't.
Real quick too, Ray and Ramey and other people, the Game Station Pro is fine if you enjoy it and that's how you play your Atari. That's fine. I'm just saying,
so it can't be.
Yeah, that can't be nominated. But my point was, there's so many. Like it felt like something different, I guess, with the 400 mini as opposed to that.
Well, 2600 plus kind of ruined it too, right?
A little bit. It kind of took the steam out of its sales. I think.
I think if that was released a year before or a year after,
it would have been much. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Jeremiah makes a good point. Game Station Pro was a Christmas item, and after that, people got them for Christmas, and Grandma got it because it was whatever. Your kid likes
video games.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But anyway, moving on to our next nominee, was a very cool item and something that I guess had been in the works for a long time, but I had seen it released for the first time this year. The Atari 2600 movie cart. And watching movies on a 2600 full-length movies it's just.
Do you have a video of this?
I don't know. I didn't bring up any videos of any of the. I mean, you want me to search a video?
No, I thought you'd prepare. I'm sorry.
And then I did. I can only upload. You could have prepared 10 videos. We could do 10 each.
I can't do it on this. This is your deal.
You can do it. Okay. And then our last nominee is the Blaze's Evercade, a Super Pocket Hyper Mega Atari Edition handheld Super Pocket.
Did I name this thing? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. The Super Pocket.
It's the Super Pocket.
What you got in there, baby?
It's cool. I got mine right here.
I want this. I don't have.
See how dirty my screen is? Hold on, I gotta clean this.
That's Toledo. It's just you go outside and it just gets in your lungs, all over your clothes. I want this. Good. I don't have it yet. Yeah. How do you like that? Pretty good.
Yeah, if you like Evercade, it's more of an Evercade thing, I think, than an Atari thing. It's got the Atari ROMs built in, but what I've primarily been doing with it is going back and playing Legacy of Kain on it, which that series of games is awesome. That's a whole different topic, but Legacy of Kain is incredible.
But you can play really bad video games that your friend from Toledo likes.
Right, and you can play all the Atari stuff is built in on this, which is awesome. So you buy just this and you have, I think, 50 Atari games built in. And then from there, if you so choose, you can get Intellivision cartridges, more Atari cartridges.
Does it control well?
Yeah, controls well. This sounds a little weak in my opinion, but other people have told me that theirs sound better. So I wonder if mine is a little defective.
It's all that wood. You got that wood grain. It's all that oak.
It doesn't work well with the wood. It has a little hamster inside that spins a wheel and it makes it work.
Termites in it, right?
You got
termites in your handheld. All right. So out of those 4 wonderful nominees, what won?
So our winner, and I think we both agreed on this, I'm pretty sure, was the Atari 400 Mini. And again, being primarily something that we didn't have before. With the other nominees, there was other Super Pocket handhelds. You could get Atari cartridges. Most of those built-in games on that Super Pocket Evercade were mostly available already on the Evercade and obviously elsewhere. And same thing, 7800 plus was a rehash almost. I guess rehash isn't the best way to say it, but it was done the year prior, right? The 400 Mini was something new. It's something exciting. I think it's held up. The 400 Mini actually got me so interested in the 8-bit line that I went out and bought an XEGS, something I never thought I would do. shortly after getting it because I wanted just to experience more. So I think it did its job of
Yeah.
getting
How do you
me
like your X?
interested.
How do you like the XE?
It's cool. It's different.
Yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, that's got to be the winner in my opinion,
I
by
agree.
far.
Yeah, congratulations, whoever came up with that idea.
Yeah,
And
winner,
you can put
winner.
with a scan disc, you can put it in there, and you can play just
Yep.
about any 5200 game,
And
any computer game. Yeah,
that's
good
the
stuff.
thing that really helps propel it forward too. Whoever fought for that SD card slot, that was genius because that has really added to its longevity. And just if we ever make it to 5,200 subscribers, just so you guys know, we will be giving away an Atari 400 Mini here on the channel.
Oh my
But
god,
yeah, but next
his channel, not
category.
mine. I don't have. I
No,
don't. I'm not monetized. I can't afford that shit.
best WIP work in progress Atari game of the year.
My
So,
god.
yep, there are several games that have been worked on. They've started working on it this year, maybe made major progress this year, and we have several nominees that apparently I removed from the stage, but I have one I can start presenting right now. Our first work in progress game, and something that I was super excited to see, is Operation Follow Through. For those that don't know, this was in the Jag Jam 2024. If you're not aware of what that is, people get together and make Atari Jaguar games. So this is something that was started there, and the developer is going to finish it up, clean it up, and eventually release it in a full game version. And it's basically Virtua Cop or Area 51, if you will, for the Jaguar. And it's what everybody always cries for. They want 3D games on the Jag. This is 3D, and it's a genre that I think Jag Zombies tried to do it, but that guy's games are trash. So here is one
Oh,
that will
John.
hopefully be better. That he's a crook. I don't like that guy.
Oh.
He stole my money and never sent me my game, so I will always take every chance to bash him.
Let's go over there and we'll go over there with a couple
Yeah,
chains and pipes. We'll talk to him.
yeah, we'll pay him a visit. But yeah, that is one of our nominees. I guess I have my other one I can pull up here, and I will let you talk about our next nominee while I pull up the next one, and that is
Dun,
Night
dun, dun.
Guy.
Well, that's even an old graphic, but Night Guy 30
Yeah,
squares of doom or square the Night Guy and 30
Fate.
squares of fate, whatever he
Yeah,
names it. This is Vad Zaninga, and
yeah,
this is the guy from Chile who makes awesome, just amazing 2,600 and 7,800 games. And at first, when you look at this and go, this probably is a piece of crap game. Who wants to play a board game? To me, and I'm about to do a video of this game. The 7800 had a pretty bad 2024,
yeah,
and we need this game to, as a community, to be released and to be unreal. And to me, this is one of my most anticipated Atari 7800 games of all time, and I can't believe how good it is. It's basically an RPG on like a Monopoly board.
yeah.
And so far, it's pretty damn cool. There's some things about it. I'm going to do some notes for. You probably will hate this video, but I'm going to say we need this game to be perfect. And here's my notes to make this thing perfect. But it's part RPG, it's part mini game, it's part board game. There's a final boss. I beat the work in progress. It took me about an
The new
hour or
one,
so.
right?
I can't. And the final boss was so much fun to fight. But it's nuts. It's just I've never heard of anything like this before, and I'm just amazed that that this is a concept. I've never heard of anything like this before. Have you?
No, it's a very unique idea, and I think he's doing it well. Again, he lost this original source code, I guess,
That's
and
right.
so he's completely redone the game. It looks different now than what we're showing here, and actually, I think it looks better now. Like I think he's
Oh yeah,
vastly improved everything.
yeah. Like
So
that mini game there with the little
yeah,
sliding point. That's not even on the.
yeah.
This is an old one. I
Our
have some
next,
ideas. He's probably not going to be able to do them, but I don't know. There's some things about it I think he can improve. But it's at this point, I'm salivating over this game.
Yeah, very good game. Our next nominee is also a 7800 game, and one
Woo!
that I'm very excited for myself. And that's Dreadnought Assault Turret
Awesome.
Turmoil. And this was a demo that was presented years ago to show off what the 7800 could potentially do.
Yeah.
And it was never supposed to go beyond the demo, but now they've decided to actually make it a game. I think they've decided that it's worth pursuing and seeing through to the end and putting something out. And
there's an article on my website
mm-hmm.
about this game a couple years ago about these guys just basically want to show how many sprites and colors the 7800 could show at once.
Yep.
And basically it's a Dreadnought Assault. It's kind of like Dreadnought Factor, but it's like 10 times better than Dreadnought Factor even now, or more complicated and interesting. You've got flying dragons and all sorts of stuff. One button shoots, one button reverses, going forward and backward. And you got to rescue people stuck on this ship. You got to blow up weak spots, and you get power-ups. Look at all that stuff going on there. It's unreal. It's so fun to play. They have, and I don't know if these guys have programmed very much, but this one looks just amazing to me, dude.
Yeah, it's an awesome game. And like you said, it's better even than Dreadnought Factor because you can change which direction you're going. Where in that game you're going to one direction and you can kind of go back and forth and stuff. It looks awesome. I can't wait to play it on my actual 7800 here. And last but not least, we're going back to the Jaguar. So our nominees are Jaguar 7800, 7800 Jaguar. But this right here is our final nominee, Mortal Kombat for the Atari Jaguar. This is Mortal Kombat 1, and this is actually me playing the alpha version 0.2. Right now, it's 2-player only in this condition. If you want to play it on your game drive, just support True Fun Games over at their Patreon.
Now, wait a minute. I heard about this. Is that Kasumi Ninja?
Yep.
So he made his own character.
Basically, yeah. And the character seems a little overpowered. I don't know if I have it on this video. That character, yeah, I'm playing as him there. So you can kind of do the ball thing that I've seen. Is that Reptiles move? I can't remember. And you kind of scoot underneath the guy and you can go back and forth and just not give him a chance. And he also has this move where he holds up his hand and kind of just snaps and sets the other guy on fire. He seems a little overpowered to me. I think he needs to do some balancing, but other than that, this port is amazing. And I think the coolest part about this isn't even the game itself. It's the fact that he is documenting the whole process over on his YouTube channel. So you can see how he got the sprites to work and how he got, all the stuff to come together and how he added the levels and stuff. It's a very cool journey. You kind of get attached to it in that regard. And it's cool to see such a high profile game hit the Jaguar, in my opinion.
Hey, in the original Mortal Kombat, when she was about to die, did it say finish him or finish her? Did it differentiate?
I think it did differentiate.
Oh, it did? Remember. I thought that was actually
I don't know.
He did.
It might not have. I don't know.
But there's actually people making controllers for this too. These, fighting sticks. So get ready for this one. This one's going to take some money if you're a Jaguar fan, because I think the Kasumi thing's cool. You know that Scottish guy who was an Ultra Vortex that lifted up his kilt and he keeps going around trying to monetize on that? Yeah, he should put that character in this game.
I bet you he would let him take new shots of him and not new.
I bet he would.
And,
look at my skirt.
and put him in the game with all new animations. But yeah, no. So those are our nominees. And the winner is Vinnie. Do you want to name the winner or
you do it?
The winner is, in our opinion, Mortal Kombat from True Fun Games. Again, I think I'm sure every journey is just as difficult, but the fact that he's kind of giving the inside scoop on everything as he goes really makes you appreciate the game and everything that's gone into. I have not figured out his fatality. You can see there I'm trying. I think Are
you dancing with the guy? You flirting with the guy, or what are you doing?
His fatality, he uppercuts his head off and then does a jump kick and kicks the head off the screen. It's kind of neat.
The Jaguar, there's so many good games for it. And there's so many bad games. To make a good game on the Jaguar to me is so impressive, especially something that looks like this. This looks like Midway okayed this, so I think
Yeah.
this is pretty awesome.
And this
man.
is an alpha too.
Huh?
This is an alpha too. Like he's still
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
clean it up and add the bosses in and everything. So yeah, very cool, very impressive. Well deserved. True fun game. Support them on Patreon, and you can download the ROM yourself.
There's people here that are helping this guy with money to help make this thing. So
right.
look
But
at that.
now, yep. And
Dory.
those heads down there are all supporters on Patreon. So
Are they really?
He changed the heads around in the pit, which is, again, some people are going to be like, he shouldn't alter anything.
He should. This game's been out for a million years.
That's my thing. If you want to play Mortal Kombat, you can download MAME and play an arcade.
Put Bentley Bear in the goddamn thing.
Right. Like, just make it special. Give me a reason
Atari.
to play it. So
you remember Soul Calibur? They had Link for the Nintendo and Spawn for the Xbox and stuff like that.
Oh, I had the Xbox version. I love Spawn on that game.
Yeah.
But moving on, we have our second to last category. Best Hembrew. Jesus Christ.
You tired, honey?
Best Hemorrhoid released in 2024. Best homebrew game released in 2024. And this is usually a big category, Vinny, but it's a little sparse this year.
We had a hard time coming up with this. And we're talking about releases that on some sort of cart, not just a free ROM.
And it had to have been this year. It could have been released another year, but it's something that
had to be something released this year. Like Asteroids Deluxe was released on a cart,
right.
But it was made 15 years ago. So Bentley Bear couldn't be on this list either. Sean, you drinking?
It could have been.
But yeah, this is and this is we're talking about the 7800. Me and you are 7800 guys. I think the 7800 homebrew scene has been on fire, and this year it's taken a back seat. I think there's some fingers to point at why, and there's, but it'll be back. I think the 7800 scene will definitely be back, but this year the 7800 was struggling.
And we're looking at Mortal Kombat still on the screen. I just realized that. Let me get that off.
That's fun to look at.
Yeah, I know. I was just enjoying it.
One guy down there looked like Michael Freebird Hayes down there.
Yeah. Yeah. So our first nominee, this is the trailer from it. Again, Audacity.
I thought it said more than 3 inches. I was like, good Lord.
More than 4 inches. So Audacity Games has been, speaking of heat, they putting out some fire games on the 2600, and as they should, because it is the Kitchen Brothers, Van Ryzen, all of our favorite old Activision developers returning to the 2600, to what made them famous. And this is their newest release, and one that I've been anticipating personally since it was announced, Casey's Gold. And honestly, I loved the alien abduction game. I wasn't huge for the Circus Convoy. And
that's interesting. Gold, most people have that flipped. Most people love Circus Convoy.
That's why I argue with people online, because my opinions are considered wrong. Yeah. But now we have Casey's Gold, and it's been a big release, I think, for Audacity, especially over the holidays. It came out, I think, at the right time with the 2600 or 7800 plus coming out and stuff.
Well, this game is, I heard Circus Convoy could be overly complex.
Right.
Some people, there was a lot of items and things and a lot of puzzles that kind of made you go, good God. And some people were like, dude, I'm playing an Atari game. I don't want to have to break out a protractor. And so this is more, you're still on a train. I don't know what their fixation is with I don't know if they like train spotting or they grew up near a railroad when they were kids. But this is another train game, but there's it's simpler, but it's not easy. In fact, I was playing level 2. It took me about an hour to get past level 2. So there's a lot of puzzles in this, and there's a lot of head scratching stuff, which is fun, and it's simple, but yet it's also very complex. It looks like an Activision game. The title scrolls, like on the title screen, just like those old, it'll say Activision and then the year. The rainbow colored sky, the box has the rainbows on them. So this scratches, not only this is a great game, but this also scratches the nostalgia itch too. I mean, this is like what Pitfall should have been. I mean, this is just a freaking, look at this stuff here. There's also 3 games involved in this game too. There's like a kind of a mine dodgem type thing, and there's all sorts of stuff going on here.
Yeah, it's a very neat game. My copy will be here tomorrow, I think. I didn't get it in time, but it looks great, and I can't wait to play it myself. Our next nominee that we are presenting now is a Jaguar game, Jumping at Shadows. Was
great
released,
box art on this. I love what the box looks like.
Yep, technically released right at the tail end of the year. I'm not sure if anybody's received their copies yet or not. We're not going to get into that, but you can play a version from Rebooted right now, I believe. But still, this is a game that a lot of people have been anticipating. Rebooted does some excellent 2D games on the Jaguar, and this seems to be the same thing. The graphic style looks great in my opinion. It's very
Unreal
stylistic. Yeah. And that's the thing. I personally think the Jaguar, that 2D games and the Jaguar are fine, especially when they look as good as this, or even as Last Strike or Gravetic Mines and stuff. I have no problem with that. The Jaguar does a great job with these games, and this one is an exciting release. It's more.
Well, when we interviewed Ted Taquichi, I mean, he said they were forced to make 3D games, and I think that was a big mistake. I think you should have went for make good games and occasionally do a 3D one. But yeah, like a game like this, they could have done back then, and people would have dug this, you know.
Yep. So that is our second nominee. Our third nominee is another 2600 game, and one that Atari released this year. It was out under a different name, but now it has been released under its proper name from Champ Games, the Caverns of Mars game.
Yeah, and that's actually the older. That's kind of a The reason this is kind of in this category is because they did update it a little bit for the new release, so it's not exactly the Atari Age homebrew.
Yeah, I just grabbed the Atari Age footage real quick, but yeah, this isn't conducive to the final product.
It's a great game, Unreal. It's going on behind me. It's you know, we've talked about this before. I think Caverns of Mars Recharge, which you can now play on your Netflix games. You don't even have to have an Atari to play that. Yeah. Is one of the better Recharge games, and this is one of the first homebrews back in the 8-bit days that became like an official release. And this part, I hate those things. The little moving little laser lines can go to hell, but good game, man. Great game.
Very, very fun. And our last nominee is a 7800 game. So despite our feelings that the 7800 had maybe a weaker year than what we're used to, we do present you with Vinnie holding Bounty Bob Strikes Back here. So this is
spoiler alert. You gave this a 2. This one's not.
I
going
gave
to
it
win.
a 2.
Yeah, you gave this a 2 on your website.
Well, it could still win. Not my website, my YouTube channel.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Because you gave it a 3.5, and you really enjoyed it. You said you've been playing it quite a bit lately. You've been addicted.
I've played Bounty Bob and Miner 2049er before on the 50th anniversary, and I thought they were terrible, and I didn't understand what I was doing. But Bob's tweak on this, and this is why we're calling it a homebrew, is because Bob did tweak it because he made it to where you can steer the jumping and the fixed jumping, which Casey's Gold has fixed jumping, but it's not as a ridiculous universe. And there I'm comparing, this is my video, I'm comparing how stupid Bounty Bob looks compared to the protagonist of Venture, which looks stupid too. But you know, not only did Bob let you change the color of the hat and make it, there's a code where you can take his hat off, which is naked head look. I no wonder he wears a hat. His naked head looks worse. But this game, if you can get past the ugly ass graphics, the sound is good because Bobby Clark did the sound, and it's Hokey
sound
chip.
is really good.
But and you get past the stupid premise. This is an amazingly difficult, but yet addictive game because of each level is vastly different than the one before, and they're always like implementing a new gameplay technique, like suction tubes or slides or rockets or acid rain. Yeah, it's just, or a grain elevator. You never know what is happening next, and it's to figure out how to beat these levels is, and it's punishingly difficult. You can only make 5 mistakes through 25 levels, or you're not going to beat the game.
Yeah, if you set it to 5 lives too, like you have the option to make it harder on yourself if you so choose.
Yes, and here's my campaign that Pac-Man is actually evil, but he's eating the eggs of the ghost polygamous Mormon family.
But yeah, I think a few alterations would have made it better. I think having steerable as the default option, again, because these are homebrew games. To me, we've had Bounty Bob Strikes Back, so doing some things to improve it, alter it, and especially if you're including the original controls, makes sense to me. But other people absolutely love this game, and it is very addictive. You do want to see the next screen. It is a rewarding challenge. You feel accomplished when you get through it.
I was very surprised by this game. I thought I'd hate this thing.
Yeah, so it is again, it has a lot of quality aspects, but there can only be one winner. And Vinnie, do you want to announce the winner, or do you want me?
I can't believe it. I mean, me and you are both 7,800 homers, and this year's winner is going to be Casey's Gold, man. I mean, that you can't deny the quality and just how awesome. What impresses me is just with the 2600, just what they have done. I mean, all this stuff, all this gameplay, look at all this shit going on. I mean, it's just unreal that this is a 2600. Look at that. That's one of the little gameplay elements, is the little mining cart element. And they do neat things too, like Space Invaders is in there, and the Scorpion from Pitfall's in there. So I mean, it scratches everything. It looks great. It's got good sound for what it is. It's not easy, and it's a Twitch game. It's a puzzle game. And for a homebrew, it's the best one this year, man. Congratulations to Audacity. Good job.
Absolutely. Those guys, it's almost like they know what they're doing. It's almost like they've done this before.
They might have figured it out one day. We're hoping.
Yeah, one day they might get there. But we have our second to last category. And this might be, if it weren't for the next category, this would be the biggest of the show.
The next one is a huge category.
Yeah, that's the one everybody's waiting for. This is the best.
We should skip over this one, actually.
You want to?
Yeah, just forget the best Atari game of the year.
Oh yeah. Nobody cares about this one. No, this is the best game released by Atari in 2024. We do have, I think, 4 nominees, but I have.
Oh, Ramey's got a good comment, by the way. The last comment on the screen. Casey Gold looks more like a 7800 game than Bounty Bob. I would agree wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Bounty Bob looks a generation behind, in my opinion, and that was another thing.
That's your biggest problem. Is you think the 7800 plus is supposed to garner a new audience, and Bounty Bob is going to make people want to throw it out the window. I think they're going to just nostalgia it up, and Atari fans buy it. But I agree with you too. And again, and Bob said this either on my video or in a message board. They made him keep those graphics. He wanted to update them, and they wouldn't let him. So he
said it in your video, and that was pretty eye opening to me.
Weird,
but
right?
I knew the thing was, and the thing I think I said in the video, or at least I said in a comment somewhere, was it's a competently done game. I don't think Bounty Bob Strikes Back, any of my issues with it was not a problem with the programming at all. It was just the game itself.
Right.
And what I was hoping for, I guess, which again, take that with a grain of salt.
It's a bad taste in your mouth from the get-go.
Absolutely. So let me pull this up right now.
The Atari game of the year. This is a game that actually Atari released, which Atari was putting stuff on their Instagram where they were having programmers and Wade Rosen and they're like, what are your 5 favorite games of the year? And they never were saying any of their own Atari games. And I was like,
really?
At least why? They kept saying Astro Boy and that stupid poker game that everybody likes. And
wow.
I think this is a great time for retro gaming too, and I think because these AAA houses are not churning out AAA games, when Astro Boy and a poker game wins, So here's our first candidate of 4, our first nominee.
Yep, our first nominee.
I know what this is.
Yep, this is a very interesting take on the Pong style of gameplay. I was surprised how much I liked it, and I was quite addicted to it until I got through it. Actually, this is, and again, I still don't know what the pronunciation of it should be. Quamp or Comp 2?
Queef.
Yeah, there you go. Queef 2 for multi-platforms, tons of platforms. I played it on the VCS and PC. So you take your ball on an adventure. Your Pong ball, you fight bosses, you go through worlds. It's a very depressing industrial type world that this ball is venturing through. And there's atmospheric music playing. There's crazy enemies that want to eat the ball and they chase it. You fight the Pong paddle as a boss and warlords and stuff. So the whole thing is, I think this is an excellent game, and it's a very well done game and a neat nod to Atari and to people who love Atari and stuff.
Unreal. Very good game. Great boss battles. Great ideas. Not easy. It's for. This is why we like the Atari VCS, is that we wanted games for our own system that were new but yet felt like an Atari game, and this is a primo version of just a great. This is an Atari game, easy to play. You're not trying to figure out 65 buttons, but very difficult to master. And it's an adventure too, which is my favorite genre of Atari game, are the adventure games. So love it.
Oh yeah. Our next nominee here, and we got some raw gameplay footage we're showing. This was probably their biggest profile release of the year, I think, or maybe one they were banking on more so than some of the others. At least it felt like it to me. I could be wrong. Way Forward did program this. Way Forward has a great reputation in the retro community. But this, of course, is Yars Rising for multi-platforms, VCS. I played it on the PC for the review. The game itself is a Metroidvania, and it's actually a competently done one, if not a bit on the basic side. It's everything I would expect. It's taken few risks, in my opinion, and I think the story is by far the most disappointing element of the game, or at least the voice acting is. I will say, though, that as I played through and progressed, the story opened up a little more than I thought it would, but the voice acting outside of one or two characters was a detriment to me. Thoughts on Yours Rising, Vinny?
Interesting. I like how they this game is not a bad game at all. It's a very good game. I'm not a fan of anime. I just it's the least black thing about me is I do not like anime, and so I get disappointed with this. And I don't like anime style voice acting, but I thought this was an interesting. And there are Yar's Revenge game elements to it, like puzzle elements.
Yeah,
and I like that they took a lot of risk with this. And I hope they make 1,000 games like this. They'll do something with Missile Command. I mean, this stuff ain't bad. This is a great game for the price, man.
And this game did do something with Missile Command too. You have the Missile Commander that you fight. So
right, but I just mean like they take any of their IPs and make it into an adventure, and I think that would be kind of fun.
Yep. But moving on, we have another nominee, and this is another anime-inspired thing that had me a little worried before I played it. But it is surprisingly solid. The story is very by the numbers. I feel the characters are as flat can be. There's no real development. But that doesn't matter when you got fun, addictive gameplay like this one has, where you're taking one of 4 landers, if you get the secret one, I guess, through various missions. You fight against a few bosses here and there. You have missions where you fly around and purposely hit stuff.
Well, let's just stop right there. What's the craziest thing about this game? What's the most unique thing about this game?
I guess the controls. I mean, what?
You don't shoot. You're a total peace.
Oh yeah.
You're a peaceful entity. You're like the Futurama gang. You're basically a bunch of couriers, and the solar system's exploding pieces. I think the story's good. I think the voice acting's good. especially for anime. And I was totally blown away at how good this game was. I thought this game was. I think they delayed it too, and I was like, "Oh, that's never a good sign." And it plays good on the VCS. That's how I play it. And I again, just like Bounty Bob, each level was different than the last. There's one ending screen that was very similar to Missile Command, where you had to reflect things. Like there was a bunch of asteroids or space particles attacking a city, and you had to knock them away. Very interesting. There's like one world you go to where there's a lot of wind, and you got to watch out for like the windmills and stuff that'll chop your ship up into pieces. Really, the doctor was terrible. They always have some sort of sexualized, terrible comic relief thing. But overall, I was just, and here he is, speak of the devil, that effing moron. But, I mean, I was blown away by Lunar Lander, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I loved it. I played it on stream. We actually played the whole game through on the stream, and I was surprised by it. I was happily surprised. Absolutely. Again, I think the characters come off flat. There's no character development. They go through some things, but they don't seem to, grow in any way.
I thought the story was good, though. I thought the unit, the solar system was.
I did
blown away, and
it was a good premise.
The fact that you're not like Han Solo in an awesome ship, you're just these people who aren't heroes trying to do what they could to save the universe. I thought that was an interesting idea.
Yeah, I think the premise was fine. I just execution and story and stuff.
All right, there, negative Nancy. Quit
it was a very good game, and those were the three I have. You had offered a fourth nominee. Do you still want to mention it?
Well, yeah.
Who was our fourth nominee?
You don't have nominee of the for the best Atari game of the year?
See, my thing is we had talked about Bounty Bob. I took that off because that was on the homebrew list. And you had mentioned what was it? Tetris Forever?
I'm not going with that one. My fourth nominee would be Caverns of Mars.
See, I think that was on the homebrew list, but we can.
Well,
we'll double up.
Are we really doing this? I mean, I thought you wrote it down, dude. I mean,
I scratched it out.
I guess everybody knows it's not going to win, whatever we just come up with right now. I mean,
I scratched it out because I didn't think it. We had Tetris Forever. I scratched out, and then this one and Bounty Bob.
We'll just go with the three then. We'll just roll the three.
Right, that was my thought. The game of the year, and I think we're both in agreement here, is Lunar Lander Beyond.
Yeah, I think that's
far and away. I think Comp gave it a run for its money. I think yours was a little bit too by the numbers, and I think Lunar Lander was almost perfect. It was very.
Again, we're talking about games that we're talking about. Have you ever played a game like this? Like we're talking about Night Guy. Have you ever played a game like Lunar Lander? I mean, I don't think there's ever been one, and that's an adventure based around a peaceful starship. I mean, it's nuts, So, congratulations, whoever came up with that game and did the work. And that there was a lot of work that went in that game too. And I knew you were both really, when it was announced, we were both really surprised it wasn't a recharge game. We were like, and we want to thank this too. We want to thank Atari too for putting it on the VCS because it looked like for a long time it wasn't going to be on the VCS. So it's kind of cool that they put it on.
Right. And I had actually, I think I was to the point where I had given up on it coming out on the VCS, or I didn't think it was going to. So I was pretty happy with the Steam version. It can play on just about anything on Steam too. I mean, my computer is not very good at all, and it plays just fine on mine. And like you said, I think the different ships too, and the variety and gameplay they provide, they kind of handle differently. You have ones that are better for speed, ones that handle better. The whole thing's just brilliant. I love it. Good
game. Just a really good game,
Yep. Great game.
And I'm surprised that none of the Atari people would mention that or Swamp or Yar's Revenge.
Yeah, I think all three of those games are very, very good.
Yeah, but they did a good job. And I wonder, we got Fatal Run coming up. We don't really know what else
Bubsy collection.
Yeah,
There's a Bubsy collection that was announced.
Yeah, man. I'm talking about new stuff.
Yeah, but we've reached the pinnacle of the show, Vinny. The one category. Huh? Yeah, the main event. The one thing that everybody has been waiting for with bated breath. Here it is, our main category of the show. Our main category. Best Video 61 laminated sheet of 2024.
So, if you buy a Video 61 game, they come with these laminated sheets. I've done a video about the best laminated sheets, and I didn't have the ones from this year. Do you have them?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, good.
Yep.
So when you buy these, they laminate different parts of some are comic strips like that, and there's an ice cream man.
Oops.
And sometimes there's spelling mistakes, but they're these laminated sheets.
This is
nothing like a laminated sheet when you get a game. So, what are the nominees?
Hold on. Okay.
For the best laminated sheet of 2024 from Video 61.
Oh man, I might be missing the winner. No, I found it. Okay, our first nominee.
Thank God. Thank you, Lord.
This is the Muskie Attack laminated sheet. As you can see, it comes with a comic. Like you get a guy in a chair.
Well, he's playing golf. What's he doing?
He's playing golf. You think it's about muskies. He's got ice cream. Nope, he's going to go fishing in the end.
I thought it was about putt 18 again.
I know.
They swerved us.
That's how they do it. They combine. That's synergy in their products.
That's a good word. I taught you that word.
You did. So this is Megaoids. You got a guy. Look at that guy. Look. Why can't I get this in here?
I don't know. You having a hard time?
Yeah, there's a guy. There's an asteroid.
Yeah.
And a ship. Yep.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. And then you got a manual on the back. Nobody cares about that.
Tells you how to play. That's Megaoids, right?
Megaoids. And our last nominee, this comes with Muskie Attack too, but it's a separate laminated sheet. This is how to win at Muskie Attack. The big tip-off. Secrets, hints, and tips. And normally you don't get this with your games. But you also got on the back, too, information about the Muskie. That's a real-life Muskie there, where you can find it. There's Ice Cream Ike. Again, synergy in their products.
He's not even on the 7800 yet. I can't wait for him to be in our library. He's on 8-bit.
Yep, Ice Cream Ike. That's neat. I'm going to start looking at their 8-bit games.
Of all these awesome laminated sheets, which one is the best one for 2024, John?
Well, I think there's no comparison. I mean, you got this one. Who cares? He's playing golf. You got this one. There's a guy and some things. No, we care about the Muskie Attack, how to win, because you get fun hints on the back. Did you know that muskies or muskellunge are one of the largest freshwater fish in North America and can be found in Minnesota's lakes, where they're known for their elusive trophy-sized catches. And you get other fun facts about muskies on this sheet and stuff. By far, the best laminated sheet of the year.
Congratulations.
And I'm glad.
That is a hell of a laminated sheet, sir.
I know. Look at that. And that they went, in all seriousness, though, the Muskie Attack release was awesome. It came with lots of little feelies and goodies and stuff. So I think like the physical product, having the 2 sheets, you had the trophy, the QR code, the cartridge with the raised end on it, 3D printed end. I think the presentation was fantastic. No matter what you think about the game, it was a good effort.
I like the colors. I know that sounds really weird.
Yeah.
Hey, going back to our homebrew of the year, did you know that Casey's Gold has QR codes?
Mm-hmm.
And if you enter QR codes, sometimes on certain screens, it'll tell you certain tips and secrets as you're playing the game. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
It's unreal. Blows my mind. So, congratulations to everybody. Now, and especially and everybody who wanted to see what the laminated sheet of the year was going to be. But
that's why they stayed. They're all leaving now.
Yeah, they're all leaving. Now we can start smoking cigarettes and bringing out the girls. Now,
what?
You had a video you wanted to show?
I did.
I thought you said you wanted to show a video and then we're going to make an announcement after the video.
No.
Oh,
See,
let's make
this this is why you come to
rehearsal.
rehearsals, Vinny.
Yeah. Well, they
If
don't
you
pay me enough.
there was yeah. Now here's me and Vinny have been negotiating for terms and stuff of possibly doing the podcast again. And I told him he has to come to rehearsal. Rehearsal was at 7 p.m. sharp. That's why this turned out the way it did. Uh, if, but no, we have been negotiating. Vinny has agreed to take a massive pay cut in exchange for coming back to the podcast. So he's taking far less money, and we have decided that due to that, we will be able to start doing the podcast regularly again, right, Vinny? Regularly?
Yes. And just so everyone knows, that's not a real thing. I was fired. John did fire me from the podcast, but we have made up and we have decided we are going to try to take on Zero Page Homebrew as the best couple
Yeah.
in Atari podcast history. And we're going to try really hard to break those two Canadians up and get a divorce up there. And then me and John will be the best
one day
tag team.
We're going to have to put out the documentary of what happened behind the scenes. There's a lot of drugs involved. Vinny would show up just like high out of his mind on meth. And
well, I mean, you have something in Toledo, you want me to show up. Right. And I mean, it's like there's children handing. It's like when Vegas in the 2000s, every time you walk down the street, somebody's handing you some porn. I mean, in Toledo, somebody's handing you some black tar heroin. But yeah, we're gonna,
that is true.
In all seriousness, we are going to start the Atari podcast, the Atari Network podcast again, and we will do this bull crap more because we've had a lot of people from both of us that were like, "Dude, we missed the podcast. What are you doing?" And so we think there's value into this forum, and we appreciate everybody who was here tonight.
Yep.
And definitely we're going to do some more of this jive rolling forward.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is something we're still kind of feeling it out and talking about the schedule, but it'll be coming back very soon here.
Yeah.
The few things before we go. Obviously, again, this was the second annual Fuji Awards, brought to you by Atari 7800forever.com. For those of you that have never been to that website, it's got every 7800 game reviewed on it. It's a plethora of information, 20 years worth of information on one website, tons of articles, things as they happen. You can read about the excitement of the first homebrews when they were coming out on the 7800. It's kind of a time machine in that regard. It was also, you should bookmark it because when Bounty Bob Strikes Back comes out, we were all saying how hard it was. Well, guess what website had the first printed documentation of the cheat code or the special code to allow you to choose your level? It was Atari7800forever.com. So thank you very much, Vinny, for running the site and for sponsoring the show.
Well, it was cool. I don't know. I mean, it's you and I are part of this scene, and I found a lot of glitches in Bounty Bob too that I haven't documented, but yeah, I found that code, and there's other codes too. So I got to update the website with some new codes for Bounty Bob. Somebody found, here's a fun one too, and I'm going to put this on the website too, but there is Frenzy in Berserk, and there is Berserk in Frenzy if you buy them.
Oh yeah.
From Atari for the 7800 plus. So you don't even need to buy both games if you don't, unless you just want to. But there's all sorts of stuff over there on that website. And I just want to thank you, John, for helping out with you promote it, and I try to promote you, but it's kind of like it's a one-way street as far as traffic is concerned. But I appreciate you always pushing people towards that website.
Absolutely. And as we said, if you're interested, you can check out Vinny's stuff, Funkmaster V, over at Big and Funky Productions on his YouTube channel. Usually you have a contrary take to mine, so you can watch like my Bounty Bob review, see what I think, get mad at me, and then go watch Vinny's and get the proper information that you wish I would have given.
You've done such a good job, though. When you first started, there was a lot of ums and crying
Yeah.
at the end of the video. You're like, I don't know what I'm doing, and now you're pretty damn competent. And
Yeah.
when your drug habit pops up, you can tell the quality of the video steps off. But when you kick the habit again, you start rocking and rolling again.
And congratulations to the winners. There is one thing I want to promote over on the Atari Network Discord. We're doing our final high score challenge. So we've been giving away these guys.
Hello.
Whoever thought of putting it way over there was an idiot. But we've been giving away these. They're the Atari 7800 trophy carts, Atari Network high score cartridge. It's got a lot of little things on there. These are engraved, so they're not. This isn't labels on them. OG Hugo did these for me, which was great. I had him commissioned from him. He did an excellent job. And these actually have a ROM on them. So if you put them in an actual 7800, they do run. They play a little demo. It's nothing major, but it has the Atari Network logo, and you run and grab a trophy. The ROM was done by the ROM was done by Kroll, and it was actually his first ever 7800 programming effort. So for that, it was very, very well done when you consider that, especially since I couldn't probably get a ball to bounce on the screen, let alone what he was able to do. These do not work on a 7800 Plus currently, though, just so that people knows, but they're still a cool trophy item to have. And this is the very last one. I'm not making more. I'm not going to have more of these commissioned. There's only 7 in existence. So if you head over to the Atari Network Discord, the High Score Challenge channel is Kung Fu Master High Score Challenge for the Atari 7800. Try to beat Jeremiah's score. He's currently the leader. You have until the 14th of January to do so at 11:59 Eastern time. After that, the winner will be announced. The cartridge will be given away, and no more of these will be done. However, that's not to say we won't do more in the future. Kroll is hard at work on a game that we are dubbing Vinnie Vaders. So that'll be a fun ROM, and that'll probably be later this year. But we will never give away that same ROM again. So if you're interested, if you're a collector, there you go, 1 in 7.
Wasn't he making like a fighting game between?
Yeah, I think that's a little more advanced. He's working on several things, but right now I think Vinnie Vaders is coming along.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely. So Jeremiah says, just send it to me now. Somebody has to at least challenge the man. His score was ridiculous, but at least somebody give him a run for his money, for God's sake. Thank you. We have to put up the goodbye from Ramey. John and Vinny, great video. Gotta go take his meds. But good night, everybody. Always love it when Ramey's here. Everybody's here. Other than that, check out the Patreon if you are so inclined. You get some benefits there, YouTube memberships, all that stuff. Yep, we give prizes away all the time on the channel. So, hey, even if you think I'm an idiot, join. You might get free stuff. We give away all kinds of stuff. That's what your membership money goes towards usually. Here's the man who programmed the cart right here, ECDHE Kroll on the Discord. He did an excellent job on that ROM, and Vinnie Vaders is going to be fun. And Vinnie, get a hold of ECDHE because he's doing a Atari Network Invaders port too, if you're interested in that. Oh, yeah. But other than that, you got anything you want to promote, Vinnie, before we head out of here?
Well, Cafe Man 2D says, what do you two want to see in 2025 for 7,800 new games? I would like to see Atari Age catch up and get to the point to where they can release Night Guy on a board and Muddy Funster's Bernie's game. And I could take another year of light cartridges if we get back to like every year getting about 6 or 7. Because to be honest, that's pretty, I mean, it gets pretty damn expensive too. I mean, I don't want 1,000 games a year. I'm trying to collect them all like Pokemon. And after a while, it's like, dude, quit releasing book carts, gambler. I mean, it's like, good God. And we got Lava Lamp Lady doing a sequel where she's blowing my head off with a shotgun or something. And so, I would like quality over quantity.
Yeah.
I don't want to poo-poo on the stuff that was released this year, but it's been frustrating. Like one thing too is like I would love to have the EXO collectible box that they released at the Portland Gaming Retro thing, but it, who wants to go to Portland in October? I mean, I don't know. I don't have that down south or on the East Coast or in Ohio or something. Going all the way up to Portland. Good God. So, I mean, I would like availability to the games that are released, too. That's what I'm looking forward to. I'm very interested to see if they're going to keep releasing 7,800 plus games. What do you think about that, John?
Well, first off, as far as what I want to see in 2025 for 7,800 new games, the biggest thing I think that we need just for people's ability to play these games is Alien Brigade, Planet Smashers, again, maybe the collectors wouldn't like that so much, but these re-releases don't seem to have diluted the value of the originals much at all, to be honest. So I think putting out a Alien Brigade and a Midnight Mutants, even if you have to alter a sprite, I still think these are games that need to be put out. And I think that's the biggest plus of the 7,800 plus and 2,600 plus is putting those out, getting more money in Atari's pocket. Because they're not seeing a dime of the $200, $300 that they're going for on eBay, but they could put them out for $29.99, slap some new art, call it a special edition, charge $39.99. It's still a steal compared to what they're going for now. And of course, like Vinnie said, I'd like to see Night Guy and all that stuff. Now, what was your question, Vinnie?
I just want to say I'm so impressed with the price because Atari a lot of times overcharge. I mean, the decanter for $130. What? And but like the fact these physical cartridges with the little cute little sleeves they come in, and the full box art for $29.99, you can't beat it, man. That's unreal. I mean, that's the thing. It's the half price of what Atari Age is selling the guy for.
Yeah, and it almost. I was talking to somebody earlier, and it almost feels like
Jeremiah. I'd love Battlezone Recharged. That would be, if you haven't played Vector Sector, I mean, you probably have, but I feel like the third stage of Vector Sector is a lot like Road Blasters meets Battlezone in a way, and I always kind of pretend it's that. So yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course, we always want to see the fun stuff like 1942 and Castlevania and stuff on the 7,800. But I myself, like, I'm having more fun lately, and by lately I mean probably in the last year, with the original stuff, the EXOs and Harpy's Curse and Night Guy stuff. I think the original stuff is more exciting. I think porting the other stuff is great, and I think it's great to show that the 7,800 could have done these things back in the day. But I think the games I get most excited for is the original stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. I mean, Popeye was an exception.
Yeah, Popeye was
because
huge.
Popeye needed to be on the 7,800. That's a 7,800 feeling game, but like, I'm with you. There's a game that Bob's been working on for years that he keeps picking up and setting down. It's Adventure 3.
Yep.
He also is dealing with this zombie game called Resolve, which I think is a great idea for a game. Those I would love to see those released.
Yep, absolutely. So that's the stuff I want to see released.
That's an interesting point. Popeye being public domain.
Yeah. The cartoon is right as of this year.
Yeah, it's like not all Mickey Mouses are public domain, but like Steamboat Willie maybe, I guess, and like Winnie the Pooh is. That's why they make those terrible horror movies. But
I guess there's a few games that Atari didn't get with the Intellivision purchase, if I remember right.
Astro Smash, I just don't.
People like Astro Smash. I don't know.
They got Meteor Shower.
Yeah, Meteor Shower and Dungeon Stalker and stuff. That's all out there. But I think this show has gone pretty well. We're going on to 2 hours here, Vinny. I don't know about you, but I've got to wrap some things up and take care of some things. But
prophylactics, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I gotta poop. I'm gonna have an accident.
Well, hey, I don't want you to have an accident. Just keep in mind, Go over to bigandfunkyproductions.com. I make horror movies and comedy movies and television shows like You All Right, Honey? They all know. Just go over and check my stuff out. And if you can buy, DVDs, I would also like to read a passage out of the Bible first. Hold on a second. Let me go get my Bible in the other room. All right. I'm kidding. We'll talk to you later, guys. Remember, believe in the funk and stay classy, Atarians, and all the other catchphrases.
Yep. And never forget,